in this lesson, we'll finish up by adding some last-minute exaggeration and asymmetry and adding maybe a few veins. So let's go ahead and take a look at where we're at. I've gone ahead and just painted some dirt onto the headband, and you can texture that as well, just using the same technique. Add the paint layer and go in and start painting that. You can see we've added a little bit of bump on the hair from the last lesson. So now I just want to come in and kind of push this a little bit. So it's still, it's not quite as exaggerated as I would like. So I want to come in and change a few things. And so I'm going to come in and on the eyes, just kind of emphasize that angle a bit more. And I want to concentrate on the head. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the eyes into position. And I'm just going to turn the lock on there. And let me get maybe a little bit smaller brush size using grab. Okay, and so I just want to kind of emphasize that angle a little bit, maybe add a little bit of asymmetry over here to this side. And let's go ahead and bring down the bottom so you can kind of see a little bit more of that white under the eye there. Maybe kind of rotate that around a bit. Okay, so just changing things up a little there. As far as the lip goes, I'm going to make this a little bit more asymmetrical. So bringing this top lip, and because I just want to modify one of these at a time, I'm going to actually use freeze. And let's actually paint through this bottom lip so that we're able to freeze that. And just work with the top in this case. So now we'll go back to grab. Okay, and I want to just pull out and up this side. Okay, maybe get kind of a larger size. And just kind of create a little bit of asymmetry there as far as the lip. So bringing up one side a little bit higher than the other. Modifying this geometry a little to match up. Okay, let's go ahead and invert that freeze. Okay, and we can come in and just take away some of this down here so that we get a little bit more flexibility. And then going back to grab, I want to take this side of the lip and kind of move it up a little bit more towards the upper lip. Okay, we can kind of start to move it in a little. If you want to unfreeze some of that area inside here, you can do that too. So you have a little bit more flexibility in using your grab. Okay, now we can come in with again, a fairly large brush. Bring that lip up, and let's leave this side down, and actually we'll go ahead and pull this down a little bit even more. So you get that really asymmetrical lip that he's sort of famous for. Okay, and you can see it's really, really exaggerated, so we might want to kind of pull this in just a little. Pull that out a bit. Keep in mind you've got a nice a hard edge there on your freeze, so you don't want to do anything that's going to make a nice crease there necessarily. So I'm going to kind of bulge this out a little bit more. Maybe smooth out some of those areas so they're not quite so big. Okay, and we can also, if you wanted to, kind of break up the rest of the face a little bit and exaggerate it, you could. Let me go unfreeze all. And then you can always come back in here and clean that up where you've changed things a little bit. So I can come in here and add a little bit more of that creasing coming down along the face. You could add a little bit more stubble in there on the bump layer if you wanted to. Now we can turn off that lock on the eyes. Let me just pull out that lip just a little bit. Kind of push in that bottom and just kind of pull that top of the lip, because I still want to get some a nice line there underneath the lip. So I'll just modify that a little bit more. Okay, if you wanted to come in and give them a little bit more of an expression, you could come in on one of the eyebrows and kind of make him a little bit more angry. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so we've taken a drawing and kind of extended it into 3D, using it as sort of a basis, but then also looking at reference on, you know, what parts we can emphasize, exaggerate, and then also looking at just, you know, the colors and how the model looks. And I think it worked out pretty well as far as the caricature goes. So you can see that it's not a realistic proportion. The neck is enormous. We've got this large jaw and then the smaller kind of a head. We could also come in here with sculpt, and let's go ahead and get the second from the last. And so you can see if I sculpt in, it looks like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the brush size way down, take the strength way down. Let's turn on steady stroke, and then we can start to come in here and just add some veins coming across here. If you want to add some of that detail in there, you can certainly do that, and just kind of add a little bit of realism to it, even though it is a very cartoony type of a look. And just bring those kind of around and add those in. All right. So that this brings us to the end of creating caricatures in Mudbox. Hope you've enjoyed the last couple of hours going through this process. Just remember, you're free to kind of use your own artistic judgment when going through these and really make it your own. Just kind of want to serve as a guide on some of the different methods that you can use to go through and sculpt this detail, create your base geometry, and also to create your paint layers and texture maps and so forth. So just have a little fun with it. These kind of models are fun to do because you can kind of just push and pull, and it's not, you know, a real exacting thing. You just want to try to get a likeness, and in this case an exaggerated likeness. So really have a lot of fun with it. So I've enjoyed the last couple of hours. We will hopefully see you next time.